Hey guys, Jordan here and welcome to another episode of Learn to Skateboard. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to do a kickflip. Alright, so a kickflip is pretty much where you do an ollie and then you flip your board around like that, and the board will be flipping towards you. So think about it that way. So you're flicking out behind you and your board is flipping towards you, and that's a kickflip. Alright, so before you learn this trick, I would highly suggest getting your ollies super good. So make sure you have really good ollies, and that's all you need to know before you could try kickflips. Alright, so just for a disclaimer, kickflips are going to be probably your first flip trick you're going to learn, unless you learn how to heel flip first. So don't get frustrated. Kickflips will take a long time to learn unless you're really pro. So just keep practicing them and you'll eventually get them. Once you get them, you got it, and you'll have them down for good. Alright, so foot positioning. I like to have my back foot right in the center of the tail here. You can have it further down or more onto the board, depending on your own preference. You pop it more on the edge, you'll get more pop. You pop it more in the center, you'll get more control. But have it nice in the middle and have your ball of your foot nice and center on the tail. And then for your back foot, I like to have my back foot in between the front bolts in the middle of the board. So on my board here, I have this drawing of the Class A logo. I have it right in between that logo and the bolt. So right here. Again, put it to your preference, and I like to angle my foot towards my front wheels like that, and I like to have my heel hanging off a little bit. Some people could, if you're first starting off and you're having troubles with flipping your board, have your heel hanging off more so you get a quicker flick. And if it's flicking too fast or you want a more controlled higher kickflip, then put more foot onto your board. Alright, so the motion of this trick is that you'll be rolling. I would say start off with a slow to moderate speed. I don't like trying kickflip stationary because it feels harder to me. But if you want, you can try stationary on the grass first. But basically, you'll have your foot positioning and you'll be rolling. And you're going to be doing just what you'll be doing like an ollie. So you're going to want to pop your tail. And once you pop your tail, you're going to be sliding your front foot up just like you would for an ollie to even the board out, except you'll have your foot angled, right? So when you slide your foot up, you're going to want to move up to about the pocket or the dip here, where your nose starts to curve up, and that's when you're going to want to flick out. Now you don't want to flick down, you don't want to flick forward, you want to flick out, like up and out off the side there, and that'll be the perfect flick to get your board to flip. So your board will be pop up, you slide your foot up, you flick out, the board will start to even out, or should even out. The board will be flipping, you'll see your grip tape, and then your back foot is going to want to catch the board and stop the board from flipping, and then your front foot will just come back and you'll land the trick. The major tips you should try when doing kickflips is that when you pop the board and start to slide up, make sure your foot, your ankle is actually rolling, and make sure that it's actually sliding up the grip tape, because you want to get that friction on your grip tape so that your board actually comes up and evens out. If you don't do that and you just flick out, then your board's going to be rocket flipping, which I do a lot. So make sure you roll up your foot and bring it all the way up to around here, and then that's when you're going to flick out. And the flicking motion of your foot should be like that. So you should have that ankle flick, and then once you flick out, your front foot will be hanging out for a second while your board's flipping, and then it's just going to come back around like that. Alright, so some common problems you might get is that you're only landing one-footed. Alright, so if you're landing with only one foot, you're pretty much doing everything fine. It's just that you're not committing to the trick. Because if your board's able to flip all the way around and you can land with one foot, you should be able to jump enough and get both feet on. So pretty much to practice this, I would say is either do it into a grass, like roll up and go into the grass and do it, or you could try alternating the foot you land on and then you just put it together, fully go for it, fully do the jump, and then you'll land on it. Another good way to practice committing to kickflips is having a fence, and pretty much you're grabbing onto the fence the whole time and you do the motion of the kickflip, and then you just hold on to the fence so you can get the height, and then when your board makes the complete flip, you just land on your board, and that will just help your confidence and how the coordination works for doing the trick. Another common problem you might get is over flipping or under flipping. Alright, so if you're under flipping, over flipping, or landing primo, then pretty much what you gotta do is readjust your feet and readjust how hard you're flicking the board. If you're under flipping, flick the board a bit more. If you're over flipping, flick it a bit less. If you're doing primo, try to find a happy medium and move around your feet and try to adjust how you do your trick to try to get the right motion and the right flick, and eventually you'll just get it. Another problem you might get is your board's going rocket. Alright, so if your board's rocket flipping, what you gotta do is make sure that when you flick the board, make sure your feet is gripping onto the grip tape and sliding up, and then you flick about up here on your nose. If you don't do that, if you just flick right out, then your board's going to be flipping vertical from your pop like that. And another thing you might be doing wrong is that you're jumping backwards and then you're popping the board forward, and now you just get the board to be going in that motion and flipping like that. Another common problem you might get is that your board's just flipping, flicking, flying everywhere. Like it might be going forward, or it might be going off the side, or anything. Alright, so if your board's turning or shooting out, then it's probably the way you're jumping. When you're trying to do a kickflip, you gotta make sure you pop the board straight. Your back foot doesn't kind of shove it or anything, or push it, shoot it forward like that. And when you jump, make sure you jump straight up and parallel to your board. Your shoulders should be parallel to your board, and when you flick out, you'll be flicking out straight, and then your board should be going straight with you. Alright, so the last tip I'm going to give you guys is the way to flick out your board. Now some of you guys will probably have problems flicking out your board up, so a good way to practice this is when you pop and go to flick your board, try jump forward, like towards your nose, and basically what that would do is help your body move forward, and that'll force your legs and your feet to slide up the board, up to the nose here, and do the proper flick. So by doing that, you'll get probably a more even kickflip, a higher kickflip, and yeah. Alright, so that's all the time I have for you guys. My battery's going to die. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned a lot on how to kickflip. Just if you have problems, just leave a comment into the comments and I'll write back to you. And yeah, definitely go out and try them if you don't already got them. So yeah, really fun trick. First flip trick you'll probably learn unless you learn heel flips first. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching, and go impress your friends with some kickflips. Peace.